Hey everyone, it's Stacy Paulson. Welcome. I'm just trying to adjust my phone up here. And my office is in a beautiful location, except that just right out that window are all my kids and the neighbor kids, and they are pretty loud. So if you hear them in the background, that's what that is. Some amazing kids having a great day in February where it feels like it's spring. So that's super exciting. As people are just starting to join us, I just wanted to kind of tell you the flow of what's going to go on today, because it's a little bit different. Usually I have a topic and I'll teach about that, but this one's going to be wide open. And so I have a bunch of questions that people have emailed me about essential oils. There's a few that have posted on the Facebook page, and so I want to work my way through those questions. And if for those who are on live, if you have questions, feel free to post them there. And also, if you want notifications, because we're going to be doing a lot more of these fun things and giveaways, and if you want to be notified on Facebook Live, you just want to go ahead on your phone and click follow so that you will get that notification. If you're on the Facebook page on your computer, then you can go up to the top and click follow. And if you click follow, then you'll just get the notification on your phone. So we're going to go through. I'm going to give you some background. Hi Gina, welcome. I saw that you had a couple of questions on the Facebook page, so we'll get to those. But a few things to go through as we're outlining what we're doing. One of the things that I need to mention before I start is about compliance, as far as things that we can say and not say about essential oils, or at least that I can say because I am associated with doTERRA. I have more limited speech, so you think free speech. Hey Grandma. Grandma? Oh, that's cool. Welcome. And so I am limited on some of the things that I can say because essential oils are not drugs. They're not regulated like drugs, and because they're not, that what the FDA does is it limits some of the things that we can say about them. So basically, we can't say that essential oils will take someone from a place of sickness to a place of wellness. But we can talk about how it supports wellness, and it can take you from a place of wellness to, extreme wellness. So sometimes it's hard to be able to know what to say, and some of the comments or questions that you have, they may not necessarily be compliant for me to answer them in that way. So for instance, one of the questions would be, what would you recommend for depression? And I can't tell you that essential oils will cure or treat depression, but I can tell you things that will support your mood, that will help support a healthy mood in different ways. So I hope you're understanding that, and on the Facebook page or anything that are posted, just know I'm going to answer them, but I may have to go through and delete some of the questions, but the answers will be here. They just will help you to understand how oils support the body so that it can function properly and optimally. So I hope that's clear, but feel free to ask, whatever you want, and I will try to answer that as compliantly as I can. And for those who don't know me, who are new to this page, I am a huge guru of essential oils, but I had never heard of them. About maybe a little over 6 years ago, I was standing in the middle of a hayfield with one of my friends, Elise, and I have always had respiratory issues with hay, and so I started having that feeling like we were going to have to go home, and she came up to me with an oil. Let me find it. Purify. She came up to me with this oil, Purify, which is a blend of different essential oils, and mind you, I'd never heard of essential oils before, so I didn't know exactly what was in that bottle, but because she was my friend, I trusted her, and I thought she was a little kooky, but I just put a drop of that on my finger, and I rubbed it across the bridge of my nose. And literally within minutes, I could feel that respiratory support. And I was just blown away. Now, at the time, she didn't know some of the other health changes that I had with, I love to run, I had some knee issues, I had been having chronic sinus infections, depression, and the big one was that we were having miscarriages, and we're really wanting to expand our family. Just felt like that was what we should be doing. And so I was having all of these issues and doing kind of the traditional thing, going to doctors, taking medications. I had even had some surgeries. I remember being in the ER once with migraines and just having these things and trying to figure out how to manage this. And it seemed like the things that I was doing were not helping me to get beyond that point. I just kept coming back to this place of feeling stuck. And so when she gave me that oil and it worked for something small like that, a light bulb went on for me as far as, I bet there are other things out there that I've never even heard of that might help me to get in a better place. And so I just jumped online and I started researching, learned a ton about nutrition and how important it is to feed your body what it needs so that it can function optimally. And so I started changing things within my nutrition and then looking at healthy, natural alternatives that I could use to support my health that didn't have some of the side effects that I was experiencing. And I have my daughter who's out there crying, so if she bursts through the door, just know that's just part of my crazy life. Hopefully my husband will grab her, right? And so what that one experience did for me was it just really opened my eyes to, I didn't know everything, that just because my parents or grandparents did things in a certain way doesn't mean that it was the best way for me and my family. And so hopefully my husband will she sounds like she's hurt. Maybe she'll come in here. Sorry, guys. But I just knew that there were other things out there. Just a lot of information and a lot of people who have had different experiences that could help me. And so that really started my journey into alternative ways to take care of your health. And essential oils obviously became a part of that. I remember getting my first kit and being so excited about what was in there. I had no idea what most of it did, but I did have a book that I purchased. This was super valuable to me because it helped me to know what I could use for different things and kind of experiment with stuff. And I liked how I didn't have to worry so much about side effects or overdosing, that they're pretty simple to use and you could kind of do some trial and error. Just kind of experimenting with that. And I was good with it because it was, pennies per drop for the oils. Whereas with some of the other things that I tried, I spend thousands and thousands of dollars on things. And so I was super leery of stuff. So that's kind of my background. And so I want to go ahead and get started with questions. Now, I know we've had some more join that how this works is that if you have a question that you want answered, you're welcome to post it there. I'm monitoring the Facebook group and my email, so you're welcome to ask your questions there. So one of the first ones I want to answer from Gina is, and you have 3 of them on there, Gina. Awesome. So the first one was, what are good uses for melaleuca other than skin? So a lot of people know that melaleuca or tea tree oil is fabulous for supporting healthy skin. And so some of the other things that you can use melaleuca for, that we've used it for, is I have this blend that I put in an empty basil bottle. So there's some basil in it, but there's also melaleuca, and there's also lavender, and then fractionated coconut oil. And I have an E on top of that, if you can see, maybe you can't see, because this is our ear oil. So anytime something, you can kind of feel a little change in your ear, this is the one that we use. This is the one we use for my kids, and it works fabulous. I just put some on my finger, and I will rub it around the back of the ear, and just some kind of inside the ear. You can also get a cotton ball and put a few drops of that on the cotton ball and stick it in your ear. And that really has supported and helped my kids especially. I don't really deal with that so much, but my kids especially have used that. So melaleuca is a great one in there. Another one that we've used melaleuca for is I have this little dropper, and it has melaleuca and Roma chamomile and lavender in it. And this is a great eye support. So think anything eye, some things that may change with your eye. I can't really mention all of them, but this has been a great little support for eyes. And so you don't put oils directly in your eye, you don't put oils directly in your ear canal, but you can pat them around. So we just kind of pat them around the eye, and it can support if you have some kind of eye thing going on. How many drops in the bottle? I usually do equal parts for if we're talking about the ear blend. So it'd be equal parts of melaleuca, basil, and lavender for this one is what I like to do. And then I will fill it about halfway full, and then the other half with fractionated coconut oil. But you really don't need that much. We've had this for about 5 years. 5 years! Now imagine if you had a medication or something, they expire. You can't have it for 5 years. Like, you go buy antibiotics and you're supposed to be done in what, a week or 2 or a month or something, I don't know. So that's a really cool one. I'm trying to think of other things. Okay, so for immune support, Melaleuca is also awesome for immune support. And I didn't bring my veggie caps up, but we have this one. We used to call it the flu bomb. Can't call it that anymore. But we have this immune support bomb that we like to use, and it's just Melaleuca, lemon, On Guard, and oregano. And we just put maybe 1 or 2 drops each in a capsule, and take that whenever you're feeling maybe that little change in your health. And so that's another way you can use Melaleuca. Also, Melaleuca is a great cleanser. So if you add that to, we make our own cleanser. doTERRA has an On Guard concentrate, but you can also do it with water. If you can put lemon oil, you can put On Guard. Melaleuca is another great one that you can put in water. You just make sure you agitate it, and then you can spray. And what I like is it's non-toxic, so you can clean around your kids, your countertops, you can spray it on them, and you don't have concerns with that. Trying to think about it. It's also a good detox, a detoxifying oil, so you can take it internally to help with cleansing different organs, your gut. I'm trying to think off the it's also good for respiratory support. That's why it's in the Breathe blend. And so those who just joined, we're talking about Melaleuca, but that's why it's also in the Breathe blend. And you can use it with respiratory other oils or alone. And so I think that gives you some idea of those. I can actually send you a direct message, Gina, with a snapshot of a myriad of other things that Melaleuca will do. Okay, so I'm gonna go see if I can scroll up and down here. Okay, so another question is, should someone with high cholesterol be concerned with regimen of LLV, DDR, and mixtures of Frank, On Guard, or other oils? That would be a question you would want to talk to your doctor, or we'd have to take offline, because I can't answer that online. I'm not a doctor, so I can't treat, diagnose, or prescribe things. But I have had a lot of friends who have had high cholesterol and had really good success with lifelong vitality using DDR Prime, which is a blend. For those who don't know, it's a blend of different oils that help support the cells, cellular function. Also with frankincense and On Guard, all of those oils. In fact, my brother is one of them. And so, but I can't prescribe that to you, but just know that there's been a lot of others who have had great experiences with those. And if you want more information, message me and we can talk offline. And my daughter's having another hard time, if you hear her out there. Any help for leg shakes? That is a good one. I like how you mentioned that one. Let me see if I have the actual recipe in my book for that, because I've had 2 friends who have similar issues. Bobby, so this is Bobby. Let me see if it's in here, and if I don't have the actual recipe here, I can message you the recipe. Let me see if it's in here. I'm going to... I'm not finding it on hand. I knew I needed my other book. I have a bunch of little recipes written down. Okay. Yep. Okay, it's not in here, but I do have an awesome recipe that you mix up actually in a fractionated coconut bottle. So when it gets about halfway, then you mix the other oils in it, and you can rub it on your legs before you go to bed. And also another thing that has really helped with that is the Lifelong Vitality. So I don't know if you have used them before. So for those who are on and don't know anything about Lifelong Vitality and why we're talking about that, it's a blend, or 3 different supplements that come in this pack, and the whole pack is called Lifelong Vitality. And the bottles are called, one's Alpha CRS, one is the Z Omega, and one is Microplex BMZ. And what these are is whole food nutrients. There's all of your omegas. It has different essential oils that are in there that help support proper cell function, brain function, heart function. And that combination has really helped people support their energy. In addition to energy, their mood, healthy mood and focus, really that brain support. And then in addition, helps with some of those random things that we might have, like your legs. And my first experience with the Lifelong Vitality and why I started using them is, so I talked about some of my health issues in the beginning and how my health had really changed. And most of my research kept coming back to nutrition and changing things nutritionally, that if you feed your body what it needs, it will function optimally. But what I also found is that it was hard to get the quantity of nutrients that you may need to help you really see the change. Because we may not be able to consume enough food to get the nutrients that we need, especially if we're having some of these struggles or changes with our health. And so taking a supplement, especially a whole food supplement, is a way to get higher quantities of those vitamins and minerals and micronutrients and omegas that our bodies need to really start seeing the changes. And so for me, this was huge. And really the only reason why I started taking this is because they did have a 30-day money-back guarantee. And why that was huge for me is because I had spent thousands of dollars on trying a lot of different things for my health and not experiencing the changes. And so I was skeptical that, oh yeah, this is really going to help. But because they did have that, it gave me that confidence, well, if they don't work, then I can get my money back. And that's the reason why I started trying them. I remember it was June. We had moved from Utah to California. We were driving away. I picked up my kit, which had the Lifelong Vitality in them, and drove off to California. And that month I started using the Lifelong Vitality. And it wasn't immediate as I started, using them, but it was after a few weeks, and especially after about a month or so, that I started really seeing the changes and how much they supported my health and my energy and my mood. So I am a big believer in nutrients and getting good nutrients in your body, and you will start seeing a lot of different changes there. Hey Laura, thank you. You're so sweet. Let's see what else we have. I do take Lifelong Vitality. Was wondering if you think the Deep Blue polyphenol complex. Yes, so Deep Blue, there's a complex. For those that don't know what Deep Blue is, let me explain quickly. Where's my Deep Blue? So Deep Blue is an oil that most people will get in their kits, and it's an oil. It has a blend of oils, and it's a real soothing blend, so people will put it on their muscles, on their joints. I use it a lot on my hand because I'm using the computer and the mouse a lot. You can put it on, places where you have tension, things like that. And they've created a Deep Blue complex, which is an herbal form, in a sense, of Deep Blue. So soothing, thinking it can support with soothing muscles and joints and things like that. So the friends that I had that had the issue that you're dealing with, they use Lifelong Vitality and the mixture that I was talking about because there was no Deep Blue complex. And actually I don't know if they've even tried it. So that might be something that you could experiment with and share your experience to see if that really helps. I don't know if you tried it yet or not, but that's a really good idea. Let's see, more questions on there? Okay. All right, awesome. So I'm going to get to some of these other questions that people have emailed in. I know that some of them couldn't join live, so they emailed me. Where to start? Okay, so somebody asked about, Gina's on here. So Gina, I want to get to yours as well. So you did ask about what oils do you recommend for depression. Now, I can't tell you anything about depression, but I can tell you things that can help support your mood, and I can share with you some of the things that I've used that have been invaluable for supporting me in that capacity. So the first one was the Lifelong Vitality, and really focusing on nutrition, because our brains are so affected by the nutrients that we give ourselves. And I was not consuming omegas. I was not eating fish or things that would provide that kind of support. And to this day, it's just not something that I enjoy eating. So the Lifelong Vitality has been huge. And then in addition, for me, what is a blend that has been invaluable. Now, okay, so we moved to California. I have to kind of preface this. We moved to California, in sunny California. What I noticed in California is that I thrive better in the sun. And we're back in Utah now, and it's in the middle of February. It is the worst month of the year, I think, personally, in a place where there's snow and cold. And so I think I personally am a little more prone to feeling those winter blues. And then also at other times, when things kind of change, I just feel like I'm more prone to that. So Dr. Hill, who's one of the he's the chief medical officer for doTERRA, just incredible essential oil expert. I went to one of his events, an event before I even started using oils. Elise had invited me to go to this, and it was on women's health. I was really excited because I wanted, support with women's health. And he gave me this blend, and it has been a lifesaver for many years. And it's frankincense, Roman chamomile, and bergamot. So those 3 essential oils, and you take them in a capsule. You can take them just under your tongue, but they taste gross. So if you get one of those veggie caps, just put a couple of drops of each of those in a capsule, and you take it morning and night. And so it was coming, like I said, February here, and feeling like, gosh, could this month just get over? I like being outside and running, and I'm not liking the cold. I never have liked the cold. And so just feeling kind of down. And it was like that flash of inspiration. Hello, Stacy, you have something right here that can help support you with that. And so I have, for the past 3 days, been taking that, and it's been like night and day. So that's something that you might want to try if you have those oils on hand. And know that there's other mood oils that are available that can support your mood. And so maybe you don't have those on hand, but maybe you have Cheer Blend. So Cheer is a great one. Depending on some other things, maybe Motivate, depending on if you're feeling just lethargic, I don't feel like doing anything, lack of motivation, because there's a lot of different emotions that you may feel. And I don't know if you are familiar with, doTERRA has this emotional aromatherapy kit, and inside of it, and you can Google this and you can see it, but it has this wheel of the different emotional oils. So there's Motivate, Cheer, Passion, Forgive, Console, and Peace. And then it has different emotions that are in here. So for instance, if you're feeling distressed, then it points you towards probably Motivate or Cheer. If you're feeling angry, which was someone's question, they said, "What are there any essential oils that help with anger?" And so on this wheel, it's closer to the Forgive blend. And so if you have a child yourself who seems to have anger issues, controlling your emotions that way, that's one that you could have on hand, whether you're diffusing it. I know my son, he has an Apple Watch, and he has this little, I don't know what kind of band this is. He actually puts oils on the band, and so he can just smell it throughout the day. You can get clay pendants where you put the oils on the pendant, or charms. I know there's other kind of bracelet things, so if you're talking about kids or for yourself, anger, emotions, there's just a lot of great support with that. Okay, we have, let me see what I have to scroll down here. Yes, Bobby, I will message you that recipe. And Laura, I have several people asking about energy drain, not depression, just needing something to keep them going that won't bake them sensitive to the sun, so no Slim and Sassy. Okay, so energy, depending on if you're talking about kind of in the moment. So for instance, for me, sometimes it comes, I'm sitting in class, so I'm getting my MBA, and sometimes those classes get super boring, and I'm just like, I'm ready to fall asleep. Peppermint has always just been my friend. The peppermint belets, that is like an immediate wake you up burst of energy. But I don't find that it's long lasting. So if you're just needing that momentary wake me up so I can get through the rest of this class, and as soon as I stand up, I'm going to have more energy, that kind of thing, then something like peppermint, even Breathe, because it has the peppermint, eucalyptus, it kind of wakes you up in that sense. But here's my other friend, besides Lifelong Vitality. So Lifelong Vitality has been huge as far as energy, but this is my other support. This is my friend. This is like my Red Bull in a bottle without any yucky stuff. So there's no caffeine. It's just completely natural stuff. It helps support your mitochondria, so it functions more optimally, produces more mitochondria. And mitochondria in our cells are kind of like little engines that produce your energy, your natural energy. So this is also found pretty much in the Lifelong Vitality. But if you're just talking, I just want one, this has been one of my best friends. Especially where I've been getting up about 4:30 in the morning to do CrossFit, because that's the only time that I can fit it in. And then I go from getting ready, getting kids ready for school, then getting me ready for school, going out, doing the thing, trying to think clearly and all of that, and then getting home and doing all the mom stuff and other responsibilities, homework, blah, blah, blah. It's an energy drainer. So this has been like incredible. So this is called Mito 2 Max Energy and Stamina Complex. And you can take this as needed. And what I found is this lasts about 4 to 6 hours. So whereas the peppermint is kind of just that burst of energy, that I would say is probably one of my favorites. And if you're talking about the Motivate blend is another one, also has peppermint in it, or peppermint and wild orange mixed together is another great one for that. And Gina says apply to your pulse points. Yes. So that would be like your arms. You can put it on your neck, on the back of your neck. Okay. Let me see if I have any more questions here. These are all great questions. Okay, so let me go to some of here. So somebody said that they tried oils when they were sick and they didn't seem to work. Okay, so compliantly, to support a healthy immune system, what I found is that if you start experiencing changes in your health, that is the best time to start, or have a routine that you're using essential oils on a regular basis. So for instance, when my kids get back in school, I will generally have them start using On Guard on a regular basis. I love let me see where I put it. I love these, if you don't have them, the Touch. So these are the oils that come in the roller bottles already from doTERRA. So they're diluted with fractionated coconut oil, and they're just in a roller bottle, so they go on really easy. But this is something that they just start using on a regular basis. So I have them by bedsides and convenient places where they can just put it on. If you have On Guard, the oil, you can buy your own roller bottles and use your fractionated coconut oil and make your own if that's what you want to do. But having those around in convenient places where you use them, prevention is definitely the best way to go. But what I found is that I kind of say the 40% rule. If, when you get sick, you kind of get to where there's a peak of it. It's like the worst. And if you can catch it, before 40% of the way there, and you're starting to use oils before that, what you'll see is you'll see the difference. You'll see how quickly essential oils help support your immune system. But if you get to that point, if you get beyond there, what happens is, especially for people who haven't used essential oils that much, aren't that familiar, you probably won't be able to see the difference that they're making, even though they might help you to get, feeling awesome, better, faster, I don't know. You're just not going to see that. So that's my little 40% rule, is that it's best to catch it sooner. So by my bedside, because I kind of started feeling a little bit of a change in my nose and my throat on Sunday, I had by my bedside these, these oils. So I had On Guard, which is your, what do they call, protective blend. It helps support your immune system. Breathe, which is a respiratory blend. And then I created my own little inhaler. And this is really cool because you can put essential oils. There's like a little wick inside there. I can't take it apart now. But you just put some oils on there that are good for respiratory. So this one has eucalyptus, lemon, peppermint, and rosemary. And there's a little hole in the top. And you just snort it. And so I just put this by my bedside. So before bed, I would rub the Breathe across the bridge of my nose. I would actually just take a drop of the On Guard and just kind of swallow, take a little drink of water so it would get down in my throat. And then I use the inhaler. And because it was by my bedside, if I woke up, feeling like I can't breathe very well, then I would just put some more on. And it was like immediate, get right to it. And that's how oils seem to work the best. If we can be consistent and be quick to pay attention to our bodies, and then also trying to do preventative measures, that will help in that way. Let's see if we have any other questions while we're there. Okay. So let me scan through these and look what time it is. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. I'm in a hurry. Try to go faster. Which is the most effective way to use oils? So for those who aren't familiar, there's 3 different ways you use oils. One is aromatically. You breathe them in. You can put them in a diffuser. You can just breathe it right from the bottle. That's one way to use them, and that's the fastest way to affect your mood. So I would always say if you're trying to affect your mood, that is probably the #1 way. If you had to pick one, I would pick aromatically. The second way you use oils is topically, so putting it right on. And then the third way is to take it internally. And you can take them internally if there is a supplement back label. It will tell you can use it internally. So for instance, Cheer isn't one that has that, so I wouldn't take it internally. The best way is if you can use them all three. But if you have to choose, that's where it starts taking some intuition as far as experimenting with, okay, if I'm feeling something in my nose, would it be better to breathe it in or put it on? If it's just so easy, just do it both ways, just put it on, breathe it in, and you get it that way. So I don't know if I really answered that one. Just try to do as many ways as you can. How's that? Okay, allergic. So my son is allergic to a lot of things. Could he be allergic to essential oils? So not technically. So essential oils don't have any known allergens in them. But with that being said, people can have a sensitivity to pretty much anything. And so you can be sensitive to the oil. And what I found is that if one way of application, say for instance, you're putting on Breathe on your chest and that's just not working out very well with your skin, you're feeling like you have a sensitivity to it, then you might try placing it somewhere else on your body, like the bottom of your feet, because you have large pores. You could put them right on the bottom of your feet, or just try a different way of using it. So use it aromatically instead of using it topically. And so that's really what I found with the oils, but no, you can't technically be allergic to them. Okay, there's others about tired, sore throat, that time of the month. So a great blend for, I don't think I brought it in, but there's one that's called Clary Calm, and I swear by this stuff. So I just will rub it on my stomach. It really helps support mood. It also helps to support those organs that are going through a fun time at that time every month. And what I found is just that it seems like nothing's happened. Like I kind of forget about it. So Clary Calm is a great one, great women's blend, support for that. Another person asked about, is there anything for focus or for mom brain? Mom brain. Yes, so when you feel a little cloggy in the head, again, the Lifelong Vitality is a great one. Frankincense is in the Lifelong Vitality. Frankincense is a great one for focus, for helping support the brain to function optimally. And so I would say if you're using frankincense or any of the other oils that are good for supporting your brain, a great place to put them is in the back of your neck, off the side of your spine. So you go down the middle and then you kind of go off to your side. There's these little occipital triangles off to the side. And because you have these arteries or veins, I don't know, that run up to your brain, it's the fastest way to get the oils up into your brain. And frankincense has actually been shown to pass through the blood-brain barrier. And so if you're applying them that way, or if you're breathing it in, it's a quick way to support proper brain function. Another great one is peppermint. So there's been lots of experiments done with peppermint and studying and recall. And so you're more likely to recall things because of the use of peppermint. You can use this with your kids, have them if you're diffusing peppermint while they're doing their homework, and then if they have a test, it's something that they can pull out and put on during that test. I have teachers who will give our kids chewing gum with peppermint in it, although it's synthetic. Because of these studies, they're finding that kids' scores will be raised, but it's that focus and that recall, and so we can use that as moms and women as well. But those were probably two that I think of right off the top of my head. Are oils safe for kids and babies? I hear that they can be dangerous. So there's a lot of information out there, and especially with different essential oils, the quality does matter, especially when you're talking about something you're going to be using to support your health. So that's why I do like doTERRA, is because of the high quality of essential oils, because of their testing, because of how they source them. And so I can't speak for all essential oils, but essential oils that are pure and that are potent, that they can be used for children and for infants, you just want to know that you don't need as much for them, because they're smaller bodies. They just don't need as much, so you're wasting oils. But you're not going to kill them if you use 2 drops instead of a drop. but it is recommended that you dilute them. And so, where did I put my fractionated coconut oil? Right here. So it is recommended that you dilute them, and you dilute them with a carrier oil. I like fractionated coconut oil because it's clear, it won't stain your clothes, it doesn't have a smell. You can mix them with lotion. So for instance, if you're putting lavender on your baby, you could put a drop in the lotion and then you're rubbing it on there, or just applying to the feet. But really, sometimes you don't even need a drop. And that's oftentimes why moms will use the touch roller bottles, because they're already pre-diluted, or making your own. Somebody else had asked, like, what would be your top oils to have for babies, like in your diaper bag? And mine would be Serenity, which is a calming blend. So you think oftentimes, that's what you want, is your child to be able to sleep when it's time to sleep, and be awake when it's time to be awake, and be happy. And Serenity was a lifesaver for me. I had that in a diluted roller bottle, and would just put it on the bottom of their feet before they would go to bed. I'd have it in my diaper bag, so if I was off and they were in the car seat, maybe driving, there was something that I could put on then. The second one would be Digest Zen, because oftentimes kids have tummy discomfort. And so Digest Zen, again, the diluted one, was something that I always had on hand, because sometimes you just don't know why your child is fussing. Like, I've changed their diaper, I've fed them, I'm cuddling them, why are you not happy? And so that would be kind of my go-to, is just giving that a try to see if that was something that would help with the little ones. And my third one was Balance. I love Balance, and it just seemed to help put me and my kids in just that, like, feeling good stage. And so that was another one that I had. It's also really good for little bums. So if you ever, need some support for the little bum, Balance is a great blend for that. Okay. Anybody who's still on have any questions? I'm refreshing the page. I have a ton more, and I just don't know if we're going to get time to go through all the questions that are here. Let me see if I have any more. Okay. So I'm going to do a couple more questions. So this is a big one. So addictions. So there have been a couple of people who are asking about different types of addictions. One was smoking, and so quickly I'll just tell you, black pepper, clove, or On Guard are great, and you can just put them like right on your tongue. And I've had a lot of people who have had success with this. But no, if you have some type of addiction, that sometimes an essential oil is not, like, it can help support you in making that easier. But there might be underlying issues that go along with that addiction that need to be addressed. And so you need to think about those kind of things. But as far as smoking, sugar is a huge one. Purify, so diffusing or putting on topically Purify or Serenity are fantastic for this. And let me see what else we have here. That's oils. Ooh, hair, supporting your natural hair growth. Rosemary. Rosemary is a great one. It's in the shampoo that doTERRA has, but you can also just add it. If you have your favorite shampoo, you can add rosemary and kind of get it into your scalp. You can also take it internally. And then the other thing is, I didn't bring it in, but they have this hair serum. It's amazing. Amazing. And I have really fine, thin hair, and I thought, oh, it's a hair serum that's kind of like oily, and I thought, oh, it's going to weigh down my hair, but it doesn't do that. So if you have like fine, thin hair like I do, that was a concern. It works really well and helps support that growth and healthy growth. Okay, somebody else asked about fevers for babies. Okay, so I can't tell you about fevers, but I can tell you, like, peppermint really helps support a normal body temperature. So applying that to the bottom of your feet, the back of the neck, and if it's a child, you can dilute it. They'll feel a little cool when you put it on, so it might feel a little uncomfortable for them, but it's our go-to oil for helping with having a normal body temperature. Let me see anything else I can answer here. Some of these I'm just gonna have to pass on. Now, one story that I'm gonna share this story because I think it's interesting. And can kind of teach a principle as far as those who are using essential oils or trying to get into using essential oils. We went to Cancun and loved it, had a fabulous time with doTERRA. And just before we left, we wanted to get a sandwich, because it's just before lunch. So we were grabbing this sandwich out of the deli that they had there in this nice little resort, and we took it with us and we ate it on the airplane. We ended up getting back to California, and Dick Ray, my husband, and I both woke up and we were just so sick. Like, I've never been so sick in my entire life. We were just throwing up. It was coming out the other end. It was horrible. And I was worse than he was. And he was trying to take care of me, and I was trying to take care of him. And I just remember laying there just feeling like I was going to die. And he was mixing up different oil concoctions, looking and searching all over, like, let's try this, let's try this. We had no idea what was wrong with us, if we just had like the flu or if we ate something that was bad, whatever. And finally I had just been so sick and so dehydrated that we went to the ER, and they did some blood tests, found out that we had salmonella poisoning from the food that we ate. But as soon as they hooked me up to that IV, like, I felt a million times better. And then also what I learned is that essential oils work better when you're hydrated. Like, there's a powerful component within the oils and also being hydrated that they work in conjunction. So being dehydrated and using oils, it wasn't really doing a whole lot for us. So just be aware, like, I'm not afraid to go to the doctor or hospital if I need to. Essential oils are great support on regular routine things, but don't be afraid to go there. But I did learn that valuable lesson, like keeping water and drinking water, staying hydrated will help the oils to function better within your body. And I have different concoctions that I love to drink. Lemon oil in the water is great, fantastic. It helps to keep your bottle clean as well. My favorite has been for this winter was cassia and grapefruit. Oh, it tastes delicious. It tastes sweet, like there's sugar in it. It's so yummy, but there's no sugar in it, and you want to drink more water. And for those who are new to oils, just know that you need to either have them in a glass bottle or a metal, ceramic container, not plastic, because it can ruin the plastic and you don't want to be drinking the plastic. And I'm trying to think anything else. Any other questions before I tell you what's coming up next week and what I'm really excited for March? Oh, another story. One last story. Sorry. I don't know. Yeah, anyway. And this is really for all those mom hearts. Back when we were living in Utah before we moved back, I had 3 little kids. And there was twice this happened, but the one that I really remember, I think it was with my daughter, Ellie. It could have been with my son. It kind of meshes, like together. But I remember one of my kids just waking up with the croup. And if you are a mom, if you've ever experienced the croup, it is so scary because you feel like your child is going to die because they can't breathe. And we were kind of in that, is like late. It always happens at night and it's late. So your choice for us was to go to the ER, which was about 30 miles away to the next town, or Googling, trying to figure out what it was, figured out it was a croup and the suggestions for croup, and this is pretty much what they would do when they're going to hospital. Like, go outside in the cool air, that helps to open their airways or something. And I just felt really helpless. I just remember that feeling of helplessness, and I hated it. I hated having no control. And what I feel essential oils have done for me and my family is brought some of that control back into our hands and into our home, where we have tools at our fingertips that we can use any time of the day. And it's super empowering to know that you have something like that. Do they solve everything? Absolutely not. But have they really changed the way that we do things? Has it helped us with our mood? Has it helped us to get along better as a family? Has it helped us to stay healthier and be more active and more productive in the things that we enjoy? Absolutely. So I love them. For those who are new, haven't got essential oils, talk to the person who introduced you to those oils and help them to understand what your questions, concerns are, what you need help with to get started with those. Now, coming up, so every Thursday we'll be doing a live stream, different topic, different things. And next week we're going to be talking about weight management and going to be doing something different. So I have this desire to help teach people how to create change. Like, that is a huge part of who I am. I love to help people overcome challenges and create changes in their lives. And it can look any type of way. It can be with weight, it can be with relationships, it could be with your finances, getting out of debt, it could be with forgiving someone. That I have learned some really good skills and mindsets to help overcome different challenges that you have, and using essential oils are a part of it, and different techniques and things that can really help make a change. And so we're going to start with weight management, and I'll tell you more next week as far as what we're going to be doing. But I'm going to be doing this challenge, and it's going to be on YouTube, and you can follow along, and you're going to learn a ton. You're going to learn a ton about why oftentimes we fail, why we have so many failures at trying to change things. And it may not be weight for you, it might be something else. Maybe it's you have a hard time controlling your temper. Maybe it's you seem to always get back into debt. It could be that you have an addiction to something, sugar, food, drugs, whatever it might be. But we all have things that we want to change, and most of us have things that we've been working on for a long time. And oftentimes we give up. We're like, this is just how it is. This is how I am. I don't have enough willpower. I've tried this and this and this, and it's just not working. Well, I want to tell you that it doesn't have to be that way, that we can create these changes, and I want to show you how. And so it's going to be more like 30 to 45 days of teaching you. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be fun. It's going to be real. And you can join me in the challenge that I'm doing. So my challenge is, I've just always had this desire to weigh 130 pounds. Is that funny? Like, I remember when I was a sophomore and we had to go in for physicals for volleyball, and I went in and I weighed 127 pounds, and I just felt good and happy, and it just felt really good. And since then, I've kind of just stayed around the 140, which is fine. Like, for me and how tall I am, which is fine. But what I want to do is tackle that as a challenge, but teach you the principles of creating change by doing it, and showing you, like, you're going to have struggles, you're going to have setbacks, but how do you create the plan that actually will work for you? Because we're all so different. We have different environments and social surroundings, environmental things, personal things that are important to us that we value. Sometimes they help us and sometimes they don't. And so trying to figure out the plan that works for you. And this can be taken from weight management to any kind of change. Like, this is a principle that if you can learn these things, you can pretty much change anything. And the essential oils can support in different ways depending on what it is we're trying to change. So that, I'm super excited. So next week on the live stream, come 4:30, come with your questions. I'm going to teach you more about this, and then how we're going to be launching it through YouTube. I think it'll just be a better platform there. Super, super duper excited. And thank you everybody for joining. And sorry for those who haven't gotten your oil questions answered. We'll do this again, and hopefully we can answer more of these questions. Like, I seriously have 2 more pages of questions. But thanks everybody for joining, and have a fabulous night. And if you want to be notified, make sure that you click follow, either on the Facebook page. You'll see a follow, not the like, but the follow. Or if you're following here on your phone, you can click follow, and you'll just get the notification when we're going live. Thanks everybody. Good night.